delisting across your OFS route on a premise that you are going to...
So the question that the SES report raises is as simple as this. Did they do the OFS so that they could have a more successful or an easier path to a successful delisting? Because through the OFS they have now allotted shares to some 3 or 4 foreign financial institutions or foreign institutional investors. So when it comes to the delisting, they only have to be able to meet the ability to purchase. So the role of those FIIs becomes very important in the delisting here.
2 points here. One, making delisting easier. Is that a restriction for going for delisting?
No, not at all.
If you have done something which you were not supposed to do, the remedy lies as to whether
so
that
you're
step...
saying it's okay. We haven't established that the company did the OFS to facilitate the delisting.
Even if
and it would be unfair to say that...
It never be established. It will never be established.
No, because the company, I'm told by sources close to the company, because they are not talking since the matter is sub judice, that the reason they're going to use in SAT to explain why they changed their mind was an FDA inspection at one of their plants in India, which caused a production shutdown, and thereafter, you know, the management changed its mind, saying it's best in this business if we kept this company private, hence let's decide to delist. Does it matter how valid or...
No regulator or no court can question what is your mind.
Right.
Okay. It is the circumstances and remedy lies in restoring the original position. I am not saying because if SEBI was to do or SET was to do, you cannot play that, no, this was not the intention, this could not, because it becomes subjective and no law can be subjective.
Yeah, so nobody questions their reason.
The only question is that, okay, you want to go for delisting, you would have to acquire total 95% shareholding, including your promoter shareholding. Go ahead with 95%, we have no problem, and that is what is a fair solution, because you had given this information to the market all the time that you are going to reduce it to 75. Suddenly it has become, no, you are not going to become 75. Then the question is this, I really cannot doubt whether the intention was the bad or right. I will never question. What I am saying is the result of which that it has made life little easier, and why other investors should suffer at the cost of somebody's life becoming easier.
But we won't know, right, till the company doesn't go through the delisting process, until we are not able to see the data of who tendered their shares, until we are not able to establish that the only reason this delisting was successful is because of that FII participation, you know, the same FIIs who purchased in the OFS, we won't know whether the OFS is connected to the delisting. And even then, I'm not sure anybody can strike it down.
If the FIIs do not participate, then the delisting will never happen.
Yeah, if the delisting is allowed to go through, and the FIIs play a crucial role in making the delisting a success, is there anything in the law which says that no SEBI would, you know, have to strike down the delisting or intervene in some fashion?
I'll tell you, the remedy lies very simply that no law can be visualizing all possible situations.
Sure.
But here, very simple thing is that you have availed a window that is of OFS for a objective. When that objective is no longer there, you got to restore to the original position. Now, you cannot restore to the original position because you cannot buy back from those people, and then what will be the rate?
Right.
So the law should say that what is the best possible solution which puts you into the nearest position of original position, and that would be when you say that okay, you go ahead with the delisting, but you buy as many shares as would have put you earlier without OFS, and that is 95%.
Okay, let's take that forward. If that is what SEBI tells the company to do, and company fails in achieving it, what is the situation? Company is not able to meet MPS.
No, they will have to sell.
And company is not able to delist.
And company is not able to delist.
No. I don't agree.
Suppose they fail in the delisting after your formula, then they have to go all the way back down to 75%.
Then let them go for second OFS of 6%.
Despite everything that Mr. Gupta says, if SAT says you used the OFS, you had a genuine, you know, intention at that point to go down to 75%. Thereafter, there were events that made you change your mind. You've changed your mind. You're now following the delisting process as laid down in the regulations. So there is no reason for any one of us to intervene. Would that be a good situation or position in law?
So far as delisting is concerned, I don't think SEBI would be entitled to intervene on this situation. So then where does the remedy lie? If OFS was done by making wrong disclosures, or if there was an insider trading at that point in time because somebody knew.
None of that is here. None of that is the case.
So then then there is no question
So
of
you're
any
saying
non-compliance.
they should be allowed to go ahead and delist.
Either there was a bad intention of doing OFS, or there was.
So how do you establish bad intention when you have a change in mind?
So then why should somebody be penalized for something which is so obvious?
No. We are not penalizing, or we are not saying penalize. We are saying restore the original position. That's all.
Okay, all right, gentlemen. we fundamentally disagree on this discussion.
And second, I would say one thing, that even if those FIIs tender this in the listing, then you cannot say anything wrong with FII because they are earning 90% return.
Why not?
If the company has made its life easier for delisting by doing an OFS, and if SEBI has to make that difficult by making it 90 or 95%, what objective we are going to achieve so far as the minimum or the small shareholders are concerned? Are we doing any good for the minority shareholders by doing this?
Here is a very different thing, because the delisting route, the delisting process is such that it is basically on demand and supply. Now demand and supply by economics determine the fair price. Now what is happening, if by some method you have ensured that the supply is available to you at the price which you want, then the people who are not willing to supply will have been forced to supply.
The SES report raises this one clause in the delisting regulations that refers to the use of a device or fraud to assist you in delisting, and I suppose the second question then is that does the use of an OFS amount to some sort of deception
if it can be established by any investigation or whatever method, which will be almost impossible to establish, but if it can be established that right from day one everybody was hand in glove, then the para will apply.
I don't think there is an impossibility of establishment. If the point is that they knew and they sold it to FIIs for this purpose, and FIIs knew that they are going to go for delisting, it's a clear case where you can investigate.
You never know.
So long as circumstantial evidence or the evidence is sufficient enough to say that they have done this with an ill motive, the remedy would lie whether it was an insider trading, the remedy would lie whether it's a manipulative trade practice, the remedy would lie whether that OFS was right or wrong, whether it satisfies the criteria of saying you cannot do delisting. That is a different
But he's not saying don't do delisting, he's saying go back to the pre-OFS position and then do the
that
delisting.
remedy is punitive. I don't want punitive. I am saying that go back to the status quo which was there in October 2012 and do the delisting. I have no issue.
All right.
The investors are happy.
You have no issue with the company, I'm sure. We'll have
not
one.
my business.
We'll sure have one. Gentlemen, we'll agree to disagree, and this is exactly why I labelled it the very curious case of Fresenius Kabi. Those hearings will continue at the Securities Appellate Tribunal in the weeks to come. We will report on the final outcome. With that, thank you both for joining me, and thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next week with The Firm.